Hello, welcome to Mix Training. This is Varomix, and today we're gonna see audio-driven animation. Alright, so welcome to the world of shops. Shops is a context that is not used much today, or at least I've seen that it's a lack of shops tutorials out there. But all the shop stuff, it's used a lot in animation in Houdini by rigging and all the stuff. But we can also use it for stuff really cool like this. Like right now, we're just driving actually one line with a music file, with a file from this. You can see what I'm doing is here in the shopnet, I'm loading a file. You can see I'm loading one of my songs in MP3 format. Then we get something like this. Let's go to the motion view. You can see we get all the waveform of the file here like this. And then we can use this for driving anything in Houdini actually. So let's start by doing a simple example, and then we can go and explore this more complex example that I got right here. Alright, so let's start with something real simple. Let's create a sphere, and we're gonna just drive the sphere position with some kind of music. Alright? Okay, so let's go inside the sphere, and let's put a transform here to move it. You can see we can move the sphere here, right? Like any other place, we can just move it here. So let's create a shop network here. Let's type shop, and let's go inside that and put a file node. And I'm gonna load a file that I have in my music folder. Just make it easier. This one, it's just a very simple short file. I created a motion view over here. The bottom, so you guys can see it here consuming. So this is the WAV file I have. You could go here and see the same thing, but there you go. There's the file consuming here. And to play this, if we hit play, it kind of plays, but we don't hear it. So to play audio in Houdini, we need to go to this little speaker here, and we need to set the file here. What I like to do is just go to scrub. And instead of setting the shop, I just set the file. So it's reading the file directly. So there we go. Now you can see we have the waveform here in the timeline as well. Now if we go back and play, all right, we can listen to the audio. It's kind of a little bit choppy for some reason, but it's playing there. Oh, I know why. Because let's go to scrub again. I like to be in scrub. We're not in real time here, so let's press that. Now it sounds exactly as it should sound. So now, how do we get this information to here? Alright, so first what I like to do here is actually resample this because we have so much data. Let's go to the motion view here so it's a little bit bigger. You can have two, but it's alright. Can have as many as you can see. If I zoom in really close, there's a lot of info here. Also, this has two channels. You can see there's two channels there. You can middle click on this and see there's channel 0 and channel 1. So let's just delete one of the channels to start off. You don't need all that information, so let's just delete channel 0 and keep channel 1. Let's turn that off. You can see now we have that. But let's resample this. It's basically similar to what Houdini does in subs. We're gonna resample the file, but right now you can see I have few samples here because I have 24 here. I can raise it a little bit. You can see I'm getting more data there. I like to change this to pulse, so it kind of keeps the pulses. You can view the previous file and compare them to see what's happening. We can give it more sample. Let's see how many samples it has here. Well, that's a lot of samples. Let's give it like, I don't know, 500 samples. All right, that looks cool, but you can see there's a lot of information still there, but it's way less than before. You can see we have less samples now, and it's gonna be way simpler because we had like 44,000 samples per second. Now we have 500. We can even reduce it a little bit more, like 200, something like that. Yeah, we used to have the data there, but it's not so dense. There's gonna be just too much data there. But now, how do we get this information again out of here? So we can do it with an export. There's an export node. Connect that, see that, and now we can select the node we want to export it to. So in our case, let's go here to object sphere, and let's export it to the transform. And here it's saying, what channel do you want me to export that? And by default, it's exporting to TX, the transform X. So we can see if we go back here, here we are not receiving any information, but you can see the channel names there. But to receive the information, you have to toggle this switch here, which is the export flag. Now, if we do that, now you can see here, this channel is being overridden by that shop there. You can see if you click here, you can see that, and it's orange, and you can't change that. So now we go here and play. Now you can see that. Now you can see the sphere is moving in X, similar to what the waveform is doing here. So let's put it in Y instead of X, T, Y, and let's see what happens now. And you can see the sphere is moving like that. It's getting the values from here. It's gonna be like about 1. Let's see. 0.3, all right. But let's see if we get one sample that it's high, like this one. That should be about, yeah, 0.8. It's all right. So this is the range that we're moving there. We can also multiply that with a math node. Let's put a math node. Let's say we wanted to go higher. We can go to the range and set it from minus. Let's set it. Let's just raise the to 4 here. Raise it to 4, and it's just gonna go now higher. It's gonna move more. So we're just multiplying essentially the range. Right? You can see now it's moving with the music. All right, that looks pretty damn cool. Let's save this scene. All right, so now that we have that, so what other interesting stuff we can do with this? Well, let's create a line. And we're gonna create a line in the X direction. We're gonna add a bunch of points to this. Let's say 500 points. So we have a bunch of points there. And we can do another thing, which is choosing the channel node here. And we can grab the channels we want from here. Instead of exporting from here, we can just grab them here and put them wherever we want. So we can select the shop here that we want to get the channels from. Let's select the export, of course, because it's the last one. And now we want to select here the channel name that we have here. Let's go back in and see if we middle click on this, we have channel 1 there. So that's what we want to type there. Let's go back. You want to type channel 1. Because we have channel 1, and where are we going to put the channel? This is one single channel, and the position is 3 channels. You can see the error says it's expecting 3 channels, but you only have 1 channel. So let's just put it in the let's say in the second channel. You can't use the Bex way here, like PX, PY. You can't use that. That doesn't work here. You need to put the position and the index. In this case, 1 is going to be for Y. Now you can see we have we're deforming that line with the audio, but nothing's happened. It's just there. We can make the line bigger. Let's try 10. You can see we have the waveform here in the line now. and it's kind of cut here. So let's see how much, how long is this? We have a bunch of samples. Oh no, we resampled that. 2267. Let's put more points here. 1000. Now you can see if I put the amount of samples we have here, start and end samples, that's gonna make the waveform bigger, or you're gonna cover more of the waveform. Let's say 2200. That's almost a complete waveform there. Let's make this 20. It looks a little bit better. There you go. You can see we're seeing the result of the shops here in the bottom, and we have the shop here in the line now. This is the line that we have in Houdini now. So we can do, it's just to animate this. What I did is really simple. I just create a blend shape between the line that has nothing and the line that has the animation. And you can see if I update channels here, let me close this guy. And see, now I can blend between the two. Let me see why that thing it's sticking there. All right, so my beeper was getting weirder. So now we have this in the blend shape. We can actually blend between the two things. And now the only thing I did is just have the line. I'm adding this as a blend shape. So that it's something that you can do. Now what I want to do is create a group here. The wrong way to do it, just stick it there. And I'm going to put a point, put it to points. Select the bounding region there, and I want a sphere. You can see I have a sphere here. All those points that are yellow, those are going to be in the group. But I can animate this sphere. You can see if I animate this sphere, if I move it, you can see the selection is changing. That's what I want. So what I want is, let's say this is the active group. And I want the blend shape just to act on that section. So let's put this all the way to 1 and then put the active group there. You can see that's what I want. It's just acting on that. Now we can animate the group. Let's animate this from here to the end of the curve. So let's just add a keyframe here. I'll click there. I was in the wrong frame. Let's go to frame 1. I'll click there. Let's go all the way to about what we get. About here, I guess. It's all right. We're just kind of seeing the waveform here in the file, and let's put another keyframe. This is good. What's the length? 20. So let's put 20 here. 20. It's gonna get all the way to the other side of the curve, and I want a shift click on this, and I want this to be linear. I don't want it to have any smoothing here. Let's just select it and click this button here with the straight line. So, I have another keyframe. Why do I have another keyframe? Let's do it like that. Okay, so now let's see, it's moving along. And now you can see this is kind of doing what I want here. You can see here. It's going to be playing. It's kind of revealing the waveform as it goes. It's pretty cool. Cool. We can just click here to not see the sphere. If that's all you need, there you go. But what I want to do, it's go to the channel here, and instead of exporting this to the transform of the sphere, let's just copy this. Let's say I'll drag this to copy it, and it says that you want to export to the same thing. So say don't export this, because I'm going to export it to something else. Now here I'm going to select the blend shape, and I'm going to driving the blend shape, the channel here, this channel. So the alias is the parameter is blend 1. So let's go inside again and export it to blend 1 here. Blend 1. Now click in this to export that. If you don't click on that, it's not going to be exporting the value here. You can see now it exporting the value. Now look at this. It's not only moving along, but it's also resizing, driven by the music file. You can see it expands. They're really cool. And now that you have this, you can do whatever you want with this. You could just delete the file, the part that it's just, and if you don't want the size of the curve, you can delete everything else and keep that. And if you don't want it to be moving, you could just put it in the center, transform, and center X. And just copy this file, paste it here to reference, reverse that to keep it always at the center. So that's my trick. Now you can see it's just always at the center. It's moving along. Or you can also, let's add another one here. Instead of deleting, if you also want to keep that in the center, but you don't want to delete that, and delete that and put the pivot at this position. So let's copy this position. Let's paste that relative reference. Now it's gonna have the tails and the end, or the initial and ending tails, and you can have the waveform here in the middle. And then you can do whatever you want with this thing. It's pretty simple to keep on adding stuff. What I did with the other file, I just created a mirror to make it look. You see, yeah, now it's a mirror. And now I created another mirror. And now in the Y position, instead of in X, let's put it in Y. And actually moved it a little bit up. And now it looks like this. Cool. It might be a little bit too much there. So you can control how much this is gonna be moving. Like, let's go to a big part like this. That's a big part. So let's go to the channel here. This is the one that is going to the export. We can have another, let's create another math just to control this section. And we can multiply this by the amount that we want here, just reducing the overall size there. You can see it looks pretty cool there. The mirroring of this looks cool. So that's about it, what I did for the other file. Let me just show you what I did in the other one. Alright, so this is what I did. You can see it's one line. It's basically the same thing. I can get in the file from there, but I'm using another file. But then I'm using the blend shape as well. Same thing that I showed you. I have a few things here, but I'm not using this in the final version I did. I'm just merging two lines. I'm also making some copies that I'm driving the scale and the translate with the same music file. You can see it, creating copies there. I'm moving them with the same values. I'm scaling them. See, it looks pretty crazy in some parts, but it looks pretty nice. It gives it a lot of detail there. You can see now later after that I resampled it to don't have a lot of points. Then I mirror it up, and then I mirror it in X. And then I just apply color, and the color is just I'm applying a hue shift with a sine wave, and then I'm multiplying by the bounding box to get different colors like this, and then I'm plugging all that to the color there, and this is the result. you want it even funkier, you can add a rotation node, which is just rotating with the sine wave. And it looks really cool. So this is just curves at the end of the day, so you can do whatever you want. Here you can see this is just curves in 3D space. You can do whatever you want to scale. You can add, like you can see I added here some copied some stuff, the points and stuff like that. But it's kind of heavier, so just be aware that this is gonna be a little bit more heavy, and this sphere is too big. Like that, the polywire is too big as well. But you can do whatever you want with this thing. You can see it now. We have polywire the thing, and it looks pretty cool. You can render this. You can add it you can make some motion graphics with this, but it's pretty cool. I like it. But just these copies they're not gonna run in real time, but this runs in real time. Cool. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this one, and if you do stuff that you want to show me, please do. Visit Mix Training for more training, and visit Patreon to support us if you want to support us that way. Thank you, and let's keep learning together. I will see you in the next one. Cheers!